Hello mate, where do you want this? Only joking, it's me. Phil here at digitaldjtips.com with an absolute humongous DJ controller, the Pioneer DDJ-SZ. We've spent the last week reviewing this, digging into all its inner secrets, and this video is going to go over some of the things we found out, some of the things that make it different from other DJ controllers, and at the end of this video we're going to give you our opinion on it. But just to introduce you to this unit, it's for Serato DJ software. It is the top of the range Pioneer controller. It's got two full-size CDJ size Jog Wheels. It's got a full 4-channel mixer. You can use 2 laptops at the same time on it, making those switchovers easy. It's got digital vinyl capability, fantastic performance pads, really has got a lot going for it. So I'm going to hand over to Joey now, who has been spending a long time digging around on some of the features of this, and then at the end we're going to give you our opinion on whether it might be the DJ controller for you.
Right, thanks Phil. These are large 206mm jog wheels with a center ring, just like the CDJ-2000 Nexus. And like the CDJ Nexus, it has an outer ring with 4 LEDs. What's cool about this is that it changes color depending on what deck you're controlling. For decks 1 and 2, they're blue, and when you switch to 3 and 4, they turn white, which is pretty handy when you're playing in a dark environment and you don't want to take a look at your laptop to know which deck you're controlling. Let's put that back there. Also taking a cue from the CDJ line are these jog wheel adjustment knobs. This is for how tight the jogs are, meaning you could actually perform backspins as if this were real vinyl. You can make it light and have a really long backspin, or put a little bit more tension if you want it to be heavier. There you go. The second one controls the brake speed if you want to emulate a turntable stopping. If you want it to stop right away, turn it all the way to the left and it stops just like a CD player. Yeah. Now we've had some issues with sensitivity. Sometimes it doesn't recognize you pressing on the platter at all. Like in this case, I'm moving it around and nothing's happening. Of course, this could be rectified with a jog wheel sensitivity knob or maybe a firmware update to the controller. There are 2 kinds of onboard effects. Color effects on the left, controlled by these large silver knobs, and oscillator effects on the right, which have their own volume and parameter controls. These color effects are standard Pioneer mixer effects without the extra parameter adjustments found on a DJM mixer. You've got echo, you've got jet, pitch shifter, and of course a filter. Yeah, very nice. The oscillator effects act like tweakable sound effects. You can assign them to channels 3 or 4 depending on the switch below. Right now we've got it assigned to master, so let's try that out. There are 4 types here: white noise, reverse cymbal, a siren, and of course an air horn. You can adjust those with the volume and parameter knob, which lets you either change the pitch or range of the sound depending on what you've selected. If it's white noise, change the pitch. Same with the cymbal. But if you're using the siren, for example, you're changing the rate of the siren. Alright, I've got 2 laptops hooked up right now. Mine's on the left and this one on the right is Phil's. There are a pair of switches here on either side of the mixer at top, which let you assign a pair of channels to either laptop. So this switch here controls channels 3 and 1. This one on the right does 2 and 4. So this is great when you're switching with another DJ for a seamless back-to-back set. Though keep in mind that while you do have 2 headphone jacks here up front, they're still the same output basically. Either way, it's a cool feature that was only available previously on some high-end Rain mixers. Oh, and by the way, we're using Serato DJ on one laptop, on Phil's, yeah, and we're using Tractor on mine. Yeah, so you could probably imagine just how flexible this unit can be.
Is it all right if I put this down now? It is a little bit heavy. Okay then, so is it the DJ controller for you? Well, if you want the best of the best and money's no object, yes, it is the DJ controller for you. It has more on it and more genuinely useful stuff on it than any Serato DJ controller out there. The double laptop thing, so you can switch easily with other DJs, is awesome. And DJs are using that to switch from Serato to Virtual DJ and Tractor as well, you know, because there's mappings out there for that too. So you can literally switch between different DJs and different software without the music ever stopping. Now that in itself is really, really good. But apart from that, we really like the fact that it's built-in DVS, which means you can use vinyl and also CDJs with time code on them, and so you can switch from DVS DJs to controller DJs and so on really easily as well. If you combine those two things, you can actually have 4 proper decks going. So you can have 2 DJs with a real physical deck each playing at the same time. So it really is a lot of fun, and we wasted a lot of time messing around with those kinds of features. The performance pads are really good, nothing massively revolutionary, but what they do very well. We particularly like the way that you can change the cue colors so that the cue points correspond with what makes sense to you. You might want to use red for intros or green for breaks or whatever. But that's really nice that you can have your cues color coded to your own specifications. You can see all the other things we liked about this, and there were a lot in the review, so please go and look at that. But I just want to highlight a couple of the things that we thought maybe it didn't do as well as it could. For me, the big one is when you're spending a couple of $1,000s on a controller, especially a Pioneer controller, is that it isn't compatible with Rekordbox, which is Pioneer's own library and preparation software. Because if it were compatible with Rekordbox, it would be a truly complete DJ controller. You could use it with Serato, and you could also use it to prepare your sets to go and play out and about. And you can't do that. You can probably understand why Pioneer haven't done that, because they'll be cannibalizing sales of their higher end DJ gear. But having said that, if you wanted to buy the kind of real deal, the kind of Pioneer setup that you could use with Serato, but also with Rekordbox, also with Tractor, also with CDJs and so on, you're looking at about $5,000. Now, at $2,000, this is really expensive, but it certainly ain't $5,000. Having said that, for most DJs, and this clearly isn't aimed at most DJs, for most DJs, the Pioneer DDJ-SZ at half the price of this will probably do pretty much everything that you need in reality. And you want to be really careful if you're going to think about buying this one, because this one's heavier, it's bigger, and it's double the price, as to whether you really need those extra features. And indeed, even for most DJs, the DDJ-SZ might be overkill. A smaller Pioneer controller might be more like it, or something like the Vestax VCI 400, or the Tractor Control S4 if you're a Tractor person. These are smaller controllers, they're easier to carry, they're more universally. The mix of features is probably more useful to most DJs. As I say though, this isn't aimed at most DJs. This is aimed at people who want the best of the best. It could be club DJs who want a setup at home that feels familiar and that looks really cool. You know, if you're earning money, if you're doing this full time, why not have a great controller at home as well? And also I can see it being used by really serious mobile DJs, and also cool bars and lounges where the resident DJs say, you know what, that's what I want. It's going to look good, it's got everything I could possibly need on it, and we can switch among ourselves really easily. It's a lovely controller, we've really enjoyed using it. It certainly isn't for everyone, but it's certainly worth considering if you're in the market for a real pro controller. Its main competition, the NS7 II from Numark, which has got motorized platters, which might be more to your taste, especially if you're a scratch DJ, but it hasn't got the dual laptop switchover, and it hasn't got the DVS. And it's even heavier, believe it or not. Full review, as I say, is over on digitaldjtips.com. Thanks for watching.